How does a business guy who had a marketing degree and had his own company end up in ministry? That's an interesting story. My dad died unexpectedly and suddenly in the summer of 2000. He was the mayor of a small town in central Texas, Mason, down by Fredericksburg. Dad was only 69. He had just gotten a checkup. The doctor said he was in great shape. He had a massive heart attack the next day. Now, Dad had an old office on the square in Mason, and there was this old, heavy-duty safe in the back of the office, big, thick door. Mom gave us the combination. We start looking in there for the will, and we find this envelope, thick, sealed envelope from Dad, addressed to me and my little brother. On the front, in Dad's handwriting, he says, if you boys find this after I'm dead, do not open. It is not important. Destroy this envelope without opening it, Dad. Now, I don't know what you would do with an envelope like that, but we had a very hard time deciding. I just said, let's open it. My brother says, now hold on. Let's think about it before we do it, because once we've opened it, we can't go back. And my brother held it up and says, okay, what are we going to do? You're the big brother, you decide. And I said, well, you know, when I see Dad again, I want him to be proud of me. I don't want to have to hang my head and say, sorry, Dad, we opened it. We couldn't help ourselves. So we burned it without reading it. And people have said, oh, there's money and you burned money. No, there was no money in it. We just pulled it out of the envelope and straight into the fire. It was 7 pages of handwritten something. That envelope changed my life and changed my little brother's life. And although I don't think Dad meant for that to be the case, I think God did. It created in me a curiosity about heaven. I realized Dad's in heaven now, and I've never heard a sermon on heaven. I've been in church 3 times a week my whole life, never heard a sermon on heaven. Heard about hell, how hot it is, how you don't want to go there. And I went to the Bible bookstore and said, man, would you just point me to the heaven section? I said, there's no heaven section. We don't have any books on heaven. I said, you're kidding. Our whole goal as a Christian is heaven, and there's no books about it? So I started to do my own research. I bought a fresh Bible with no marks in it and began to spend actually 2 hours a day, lunch and breakfast by myself for 7 years, researching what the Bible had to say about heaven, finding all kinds of things that were very interesting about rewards and our new body and new earth and prophecies about heaven, and started to color code those different categories with no intention of writing a book. 2 guys a year apart who didn't even know my dad came to me independently and said, you're supposed to write a book about your dad and about heaven. So I prayed a unique prayer. I said, Lord, I need 2 things from you. I need the titles of the chapters and the order they should go in. And I woke up at 3 in the morning one day, and it was like a recorder in my head was saying, chapter 1 is this, chapter 2 is this. And I just tell you, I'm not smart enough to have come up with that. When you really want to study the Bible on something, you will find the time. You know, I was busy. I had 3 kids. I was a deacon on the mission team. I had a business with 36 employees. It became a passion. I couldn't wait till lunch when I'd get to read and study some more and mark up, color code my Bible, and help me picture these categories much more vividly. My first book is called My Search for the Real Heaven.